Recording in progress.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
so let's chat.
let's chat.
Yes. What should we
Did you do
chat
your challenge?
about? Sure, let's do New Year challenge first.
Okay.
Yes, our conversations. Do you want to go first?
No.
Okay, I will go first.
Okay.
So I reflected over conversations that I had throughout the year, and I'm going to do the good first. I am
Okay.
proud of myself because my conversations definitely improved my skills and my restraint, I should say, you know what I mean? Or like thinking before I speak kind of thing improved over the year.
Yep.
Um,
Part of the emotional regulation.
but yes, so like our conversations with Emily, very
Mhm.
proud of those conversations and where they're headed going into 2024. Conversations with your dad, like that's
Yep.
that's improved immensely this past year. And then we have the non-existent conversations, like the conversations with my mom and my sister. And I'm not so thrilled with those conversations. There's definitely room for improvement. I mean, one, they have to be willing to have them. But in the few times that we did have conversations throughout the year where they entertained having a conversation, I allowed it to be very one-sided. I took what they were saying and like processed it later. And there's a lot of things that I would have liked to have voiced back.
Mm.
Right. So like not using my voice in those instances was a little disappointing to me. That being said, as I reflect back on it, it wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have mattered if I had used my voice or like said the things that I wanted to say or tried to have that open dialogue because they weren't having conversations with me. They were communicating with me. They were communicating predetermined, this is what I think of you. And it doesn't matter what comes out of your mouth because at the moment right now you are the bad guy in the picture or in my
You probably
story.
would have just made things worse and you would have felt worse.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I would have felt worse. I don't know if that's true. I just think that I've come to a point where, yes, I'd love to be able to have them hear me and I'd love to be able to say the things that, as I reflected, came up for me.
Mhm.
But at the same token, they won't hear me. So it's just like an exercise in futility or frustration right now.
I'm going to challenge you for a second
Okay.
on this because you kind of said it yourself, but you're still sitting there kind of upset that you didn't use your voice. But what was being communicated to you, you needed time to process. And
Yes.
that's been part of the work that you've been doing is not reacting, but properly responding.
Yes.
And the weight of the conversations, or yeah, the discussions you were having needed ample time for processing so that you can properly respond. And now that you have those responses and you don't feel like you're able to say them, not because you're not capable of saying them, but because they're not going to be heard anyway, then you're turning that on, oh, I'm not using my voice.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So are you not using your voice? Or are you like just choosing where to use it?
And the student becomes the master.
Food for thought. Food for
No,
thought.
no,
That's all I'm
no,
saying.
you're right. And I probably would have came there eventually, but yes, that you're right. It's so,
And
so those are
honestly,
my,
that's probably what I need to tell myself because I've kind of had the same. No, actually, you and I are different.
yeah,
You
we
and I
are.
are different.
We're very different. But anyway, those are the reflections of my 2023 conversations. I am proud of the work that I've done. I still have work to do.
Yeah, same, kind of. I mean, as far as the conversations I've had with like you and also my sister and my dad and my boyfriend, I'm really proud of the way that they've gone. I've been able to, like, there definitely have been instances, especially with you and my boyfriend, right? Those are I would say my closest relationships. So of course they're going to be the most not precarious, I don't know what the right word is, but
Intense.
intense. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I
The
mean,
most,
they mean the most to you right now, so what we say carries more weight. Or what we,
and vice versa,
vice versa.
right?
Yes.
There have definitely been instances where I reacted still in the conversations.
Mhm, same.
Um, but the difference between 2023 and previous years for me is that within moments I was able to recognize that that's what I did and be like, whoa, that was wrong. Sorry. That's not necessarily what I meant. Let me take that back and think about it and properly, you know, express how I feel and not. So, I definitely still had instances where old habits of reacting. Um, but I'm proud of the fact that I was able to recognize them in the moment during the same conversation, right? It wasn't something we had to go back to. There wasn't like discourse because like in between conversations because
Discourse or like discourse is going back and forth. Do you mean discourse or do you mean like, you know,
discourse, I think, hold on.
yes, please look that up. And while you do that, I will add something that I didn't add. And that's kind of the same lines with you, and it is with you.
Oh yeah, no, that's so what's the word I'm thinking of? There wasn't like like animosity in between conversations or like unspoken
Resentment.
resentment. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were saying.
So I was saying there were instances that I can look to where I did the same thing, where I leaned back into old patterns, but those old patterns for me are always about not using my voice, right? Not trying to accommodate or the people please thing, like I'm feeling
Yeah.
a certain way about something or an expectation isn't being met. When I say expectation, I mean an expectation that we had agreed upon, right? And instead of saying how I felt in the moment, I like held it in so that there was a moment where I just couldn't hold it in anymore. And then blah,
But
right? Like the
yeah,
last 6 conversations
I
that
can
I
vouch that happened. I can vouch.
yes, so, right.
If-
But we did
Sorry.
catch it. We were able to, I was able to
Actually, why am I apologizing? This is my reflection that you're hijacking. Anyway.
do that. But because it was really the two of us, this conversation, this pattern is you and I together, right? Like
Oh yeah.
you were able to be like, well, that's not fair, what you're doing right now. And then
Right.
also look at it and be like, but I understand why you feel that way,
What
right?
you're saying isn't wrong, but this is not like this was not the conversation we were having. You're bringing something into it that doesn't belong here necessarily. Like we could talk about that, but
Exactly. So
that's
yeah.
not what we're talking about now.
So sorry
And
for hijacking, but I had to add
it's what we do.
that. Yeah.
What we do. And for me, my old habits were getting defensive and getting like staunch in my, well, no, that's not how I do it. That's not how, or that's not how it works. Or I get a little judgy. I definitely do.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, for me, it's jumping to the defensive and jumping to the judgment. Those are my reactions. And I know I know where they come from. They're protection, right? They were a form of protection in the past for me that I'm trying to, you know, shift from because I don't need them anymore. Because I know how to have conversations and take off the mask and all of that good stuff. But so yeah, so that's and then there are the conversations that I didn't have, like you said. I also had conversations in my head that never actually came to fruition in 2023 that there's two sides to why. One of them is just me fear not taking the initiative to do it, right? Because they're difficult conversations, but they're with people that I don't feel safe having the conversation with necessarily yet. And some of that's my work, right? Because I want to be able to get to a point where I feel safe enough, right? Having a conversation with anybody, even if I know they might not necessarily receive, right?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
what I'm trying to say
I hear what
for
you're saying, Dan.
my feelings. So it's a two-way, it's a two-side thing. Like,
Right.
I want to get to a point where I'm just secure enough and feel safe enough no matter what, because I am who I am and these are my feelings and they are valid. And I know that I'm expressing them compassionately. And I just need to own that and stand in that. But I'm not quite there yet. Maybe that's what 2024 is going to be focusing on.
So I'm gonna maybe throw in a little food for thought, like
Okay.
reframe. And um as you're having those conversations in your mind and you're saying half of it is I'm not safe. And to have those conversations, think about what you just said to me, right?
Mhm.
There are conversations that for you feel need to happen. But if you have them, what is it going to change?
Right.
At this point in time,
True.
is it going to change anything?
Excuse me.
And is it a matter of you just want to say it because it's your truth?
And it's here and it's on
in
and it's
there,
weighing on me, right?
or is it a matter of no, it really is gonna change something if I do it. It's gonna be productive. It's gonna, like, the energy that I put into that is gonna bear some fruit. So anyway. food for
No,
thought.
that's a good food for thought. But then my follow-up, my brain, like the follow-up food for thought on that was, does it matter? Because if I feel the need to say something because it's my truth, even if I know it's not going to be heard, I should still say it, right?
But you do say it. You say it in a lot of different ways to a lot of
This is
different
true.
people, and you help your truth, like your truth is helping people, right?
True.
The truth
So,
that you are talking about here is to specific people because
right,
you're hoping for an outcome, not
right.
because I need to own something. You've already owned it. You're owning it all over the damn place,
True.
right? It's just you have a specific outcome in mind, or at least this is how I'm interpreting it. You have a specific
Right, yeah.
outcome in mind that you're hoping will happen when you speak this truth, or you finally lay this out in front of them.
Right. Have the
And
conversation, basically.
right, have the conversation. And again, is it gonna be a conversation or is it gonna be communication?
Right.
So that's something for you to decide. Or just think about, I guess.
Ah, oh, I feel better.
There you go. There you go. So let's just, now that we've reflected,
Mhm. And shared our reflections.
yes,
Friends, this was actually very, oh gosh, I can't think of words today.
cathartic.
Yes, absolutely. So if you have somebody that you feel like you can, have this exchange with, do it, because it's one thing to reflect, right, on your own, but it's another to put it out there and have somebody hear it. And I mean, you saw what just happened, right? We both had food for thought for the other, because we have different perspectives.
Right? We're different people.
So cool, this is good.
Good. And we'd love to hear too. We'd love to hear your reflections or points or anything that you have that came up for you with our
I
reflection.
mean, we're happy to be those people, so.
Exactly. We're happy to listen. So yeah, I guess that's all we got for this.
Cool. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bye, guys.